1 month into 2020, and I am happy to report I have already read 10 books. What's scary about that? Well, it just is good enough to stay just on schedule, not ahead of schedule. Let's talk about this week. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike here with another weekly update, wrapping up the month of January. It's been kind of a interesting month for me. I fought the flu. I fought an Elantras type plague in my own house, and I read through Elantras, and I just keep going on this Cosmere thing, guys. And February is no different, and we're going to talk about what I did in January, what I did last week, and what I plan a little bit maybe for the beginning of February. So in case you guys don't know, weekly update is just kind of where I talk about what I've done over the past week in case you missed it, kind of give you a little nod where you can find those things, and kind of talk about what I plan to be doing over the course of the next week. So lots of new subscribers lately. We're up over 2,600, hoping to get to 3,000 by the beginning of March. So I don't think that that's an unrealistic goal at this point, but going to keep on climbing. You do have some internal numbers for what I'm hoping to get to by the end of the year. But again, as always, guys, what matters to me is talking with you and having discussion with you in the comments. And that's what weekly discussions are all about here. So let's get to it, guys. If you don't know by now, yes, I plan to read the entire Cosmere this year, and that meant starting at the beginning with Elantras, and I did finish this book. Like I said, I kind of had to fight through the flu to finish it. But that was nothing against the book at all. I think I gave it a mixed to positive review. In case you did not catch it, I'll put that review up here for you. I'm very, very proud of you guys for not jumping all over me like you did with the Liza Locke-Lamore review. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I found a better way to voice my constructive criticism without it being, you hated this book, like my Liza Locke-Lamore review apparently gets, is that I hated the book, even though I gave it a 3 out of 5. But Elantras, I had some issues with it, and I talk about those. I think I'm fair with them, and I feel like most people that are being honest with themselves, not with the rose-tinted glasses for Sanderson, were kind of agreed. Look, I like this book more than you, but I can understand those criticisms. And again, if this is the worst that Brandon Sanderson has to offer, I think I'm going to have a great time on this Cosmere ride. I also read Hope of Elantras over a cup of coffee. Yes, it was like 25 pages, so it was not that tough. I plan on wrapping that review up with Emperor's Soul, which I also read. Early reactions, I felt like Hope of Elantras just felt like a deleted scene that didn't get put into Elantras. And Emperor's Soul, very, very good. So I will get into that a little more in detail. I'm going to do Hope of Elantras and The Emperor's Soul in a review together since Hope of Elantras is so short, and that will kind of wrap up my time in Cell, at least for now, until potential Elantras sequels come out. And you got lots to say about Emperor's Soul. That one was about 110 pages, and it could have been about 110 more, I think, and I probably would have enjoyed it. So if Sanderson's so eager to go back to Cell, I'm kind of hoping he visits that side of the planet instead of the Elantras side of the planet. That's just my early take. I talked about H.P. Lovecraft a lot on this channel this week. In fact, I did a Why You Should Read on him right here, and guys, you should read Lovecraft. There. That's about it. Very, very big Lovecraft fan. If you didn't watch that video, no. I talked about it a lot this week because there was a movie that came out that I'll get to in a little bit here. But I wanted to read that story and make a comparison with it. And it led me to being like, you know what? I've never done a Why You Should Read for Lovecraft before. And like I say in that video, guys, I know that you guys aren't too much into horror. I know most of the constant viewers I have on here are not crazy about horror. The King stuff gets kind of traffic at, if that. And anytime I talk about any of the horror, people just really don't seem that into it. So thank you for humoring me. Look, I have to get these demons out, and I have to talk about horror because I love horror. I love it, and it's a big reason because of this man and that man right there, Stephen King. So I have to talk about these two authors sometimes just to get that out. So I hope that you'll give Lovecraft a try because I feel like he really is one of the titans of American literature, and I really feel like everyone should at least experience him at least once to see what it's all about and see that he deserves the hype because he's that good. Now, what does it mean since I'm done with Elantras now and I'm done with Emperor's Soul? That means I'm going on to the next Cosmere book, right? Not yet, my friends. Not yet, my friends. Many of you who watched that video know that I am now going to start on Winter's Heart. So back to the wheel. Back to the wheel. And I know all the warnings about this. You ain't got to tell me. I know. I also know it's not as bad as some people say. I know. I plan on starting this probably Monday. Weekends are really a pain in the ass with the kids here when it comes to far. That's wrong. Kids are a pain in the ass, but that's not what I meant. I meant it's a pain in the ass trying to find time to read over the weekends because I want to spend time with my kids and doing stuff with them. But I will be back on the wheel soon, and I'm excited. I'm excited to just finally try to knock out Winter's Hearts and then Crossroads of Twilight. Everybody just keeps saying, dude, just get to Knife of Dreams, and you're gonna love it. That's not gonna be a problem. Like I said, February is Winter's Heart, and March is Crossroads of Twilight. So it's happening, guys. We're going to be hitting the final stretch of Wheel of Time soon. And like I said in that video, if you're one of those guys or gals who has been with me all the way since Eye of the World, hey, man, thanks. This is exciting. I'm glad that you're here with me as I wrap this up. And it's been great talking to you guys about it. And I can't wait to talk a little bit more. Hopefully it goes over better than my Path of Daggers review did. As you guys know, I like to counter a heavy fantasy book with something not so heavy, and that, of course, means I'll be continuing Dresden. I do. This is Dresden number 5, Death Mask. Death Mask? I thought it was Deadbeat. Did I grab the wrong book? Is this number 5? I don't even know. Anyway, I hope I grabbed the right book. I believe it's Death Masks. That's the one I'm going to be... But I have yet to do my Summer Night review, so I will not start this until I do my Summer Night review, because I don't want to start getting those mixed up. But, you know, all the Cosmere stuff just kind of... and being sick and school starting, all that. Some things just kind of flew under the radar, and I just forgot about. And Summer Night is one of those that I want to talk about. Obviously, I want to talk about all of them. I plan to do 2 Dresden books a month, leading up to the release of Peace Talks in July. So it'll be happening soon. It'll be happening very, very soon. My next Cosmere book, though, after I finish Winter's Heart, is finally getting into Warbreaker. And this is that beautiful leather-bound edition that I can't get tired of showing you guys. I did that video for it right here if you want to see what's inside, because it is oh so pretty. So pretty. And I will not read a minute of this digitally. I will be reading out of this bad boy because it is phenomenal looking, and I can't wait to see. I just hope that the story inside matches what's outside, personally, at this point. So obviously excited to do that. I've heard plenty of people say that compared to Elantras, Warbreaker is a lot more probably the Sanderson that I'm looking for, a little less political theory and a little bit more on the magic and the characters, and that's really why I'm here for Sanderson. But again, you can watch that Elantras review if you want to know my issues there. What else happened this week? We're still going on that Rage of Dragons read-along. I did week 2 right here. If you guys missed it, if you're still doing that read-along, I actually have a few pages left. I'm actually trying to stay on the schedule because I got so ahead of it last time. I actually got like about 20 pages left for week 3 before I'm able to record that video, and I should do that this weekend to have it up on schedule on Monday. So we're coming up on 1 week left of Rage of Dragons, and based off the feedback in the Discord, most of you guys like it. A lot of the people have that were worried about not being able to keep up actually have finished it. So it's just that kind of page turner, guys. It really is. I understand the comparisons to Red Rising and the comparisons to Gladiator, and that's a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. Unless it takes a really, really sharp turn in the last quarter of the book, I definitely can't wait for the sequel. I believe it's scheduled for July, which is kind of stacked, so I might not get to it till August. But I definitely am interested in reading this series and seeing how Evan Winter grows as a writer. What else? Let's talk about some movies. Now, I did watch The Color Out of Space, and I did that review right here. What I actually did with that is I reviewed the book by H.P. Lovecraft, and then I talked about the movie, and obviously reviewed it too, but talked about the differences between the book and the movie. And there's a few. It's non-spoiler, so don't worry about it. And I want to encourage you guys to try to find this movie and go see it, because we need to support Lovecraft movies so we can have more of them. We need to support horror. Damn it. That way we get more of it, more quality, showing that it's a serious genre, and we're going to invest and go see these things. There are better movies than just going and seeing like The Nun, guys. We need to see really good horror, and Color Out of Space is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. One of the best horror movies, that I've seen in a long time. I would say that Hereditary was probably the last one that I really liked almost as much as this. So if you guys, if for anything, watch it for Nicolas Cage, because no one plays batshit crazy better than Nicolas Cage, because he is batshit crazy. So that's my brief review there. We got an official logo that leaked out at a panel for Denis Villeneuve's Dune movie, and I about lost it, and it made me realize, guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold together when a trailer comes out. I will have to do some kind of trailer reaction when that comes out, because I might actually cry on camera. So it's if just a logo, which was just fine. It was just fine. That the font is an interesting choice. In fact, a lot of people are calling it Dunk, because the one that I actually posted on the community tab was without the lens flare on the E that makes it look like an E. But if it's anything to what's to come, if it's a preview of anything that's to come here, I really think that Denis is going to warp some minds with this movie. And God, I can't wait. I talked about it a lot last week in the last weekly update, in case you missed it. But this, again, that's the most precious book to me in the world. I know a lot of people say it and they don't mean it. I mean it. That book changed my life. It changed the way that I looked at life and the way I used my rational thinking on a day-to-day basis. And so, again, that's my Bible. And them adapting this movie and all the rumors about how faithful it is, it's got me a giddy, man. It's got me big, to where I just can't. I start stumbling over my speech right now just trying to talk about it. That's how much I'm into it. What else did I do? In TV, we started watching season 6 of Vikings. I have said numerous times, despite the fact that it's on history, I wish more people would give it a try, because I feel like, besides budget, especially those first 4 seasons of Vikings, on par with Game of Thrones as far as writing and characters go. And a lot of people like to pretend now that Game of Thrones was never good because of that last season. Guys, you don't forget how much you liked Game of Thrones for the first 6-7 years. Don't even pretend. So anyway, I always felt like all the people that were whining about it being so long before Game of Thrones came back, it was like, you got 5 seasons of Vikings you can watch right now. But watching season 6, it seems like they have, regained their footing, their focus, that they kind of were straying with in season 5, without a particular actor that left the show. And it seems like they refound their focus. And you know what? Because of the mess that was the last season of Game of Thrones, it makes me appreciate Vikings more, that they know this is their last season and they're setting things up so well. And you could tell that they actually plotted the beginning, middle, and end of their season, and they didn't rush anything. And even if this is just the first half, it's a 20-episode season. They do 10, and then later on in the fall, they'll do the other 10 to end it. But, we're not that far into it, but we like it quite a bit. You forget sometimes just how much money History Channel does sink into this channel. It does sink into this show. It might not be HBO money, but this is History's flagship, and it shows. And there were some really, really beautiful shots of ancient Russia in this first couple of episodes, and I'm excited to see where things go, because I love Vikings, man. It's fantastic television, and I wish more people would watch it. I think Amazon Prime has the first 5.5 years available to stream on Prime, so do it if you haven't. And I'll say those early episodes, obviously, wait a little bit while it gathers its footing. By the end of that first season, man, you'll be so hooked you won't be able to stop. At least I wasn't. I know a couple people I've recommended it to just can't get past a couple things and won't watch it. And then meanwhile, they watch really bad CW shows. So you just got to know your audience there, I think. I went to Royal Rumble. WWE Royal Rumble was in Houston this past Sunday, and I went. And It was a lot of fun. I know that WWE is nowhere near what it was at one time, and it's often more painful than not. But it was a really, really fun time, especially live in person to see. I mean, the Royal Rumble, I feel like, is always something that's entertaining, just the whole aspect of it, and just there was a lot of surprise. There was a big return. Edge came back. I don't know if you guys know Edge, who also is on Vikings, so that was really cool. Edge made his return. Probably one of the loudest reactions I've ever heard at a non-rock concert in my life when he came out. It was a good time. It was a really good time, and I just want to say that Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, has the coolest entrance maybe in wrestling history. It's so good. It's so fantastic. And one thing that I will always say about WWE is their theatrics and their presentation is second to none. And that's why I think things like AEW going to have a hard time competing with them, because just the atmosphere that they're able to put on to make things seem more epic than they actually are, it's tough to beat that production value. And Royal Rumble was no different. And it was really cool seeing Roman Reigns spear a guy off the top of the Astros dugout. That's really awesome to me. So I'm easy to please when it comes to things like that. The Super Bowl is this Sunday. I don't have a dog in the fight. My football team is a complete disaster. I don't want to talk about them. But I think I have nothing against the 49ers, obviously, but I think I'm pulling for the Chiefs just to kind of get that monkey off not only their back, but off of Andy Reid's back, because he's gotten so close so many times. And I'd like to see him shake that stigma of being a playoff choker. And I hate that people just... do you know how many great coaches never won a Super Bowl? And I just say, I hate that. I hate that if you haven't won a Super Bowl, you're considered a choker. And I mean, it's... Same thing happens in all sports. If someone hasn't won a championship, they call them a choker in the playoffs or whatever. When you just got to consider there's a lot of great teams, and they're all out there trying to do the same thing. So I'd like to see them get that monkey off the back, especially since you consider the last time the Chiefs won a Super Bowl, the Beatles were still together. So there's that. Now, wrap it up here with talk about a little bit games. My kid is so excited about the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie that I actually dusted off my old Dreamcast and got it out of my closet here to play Sonic Adventure with him, and he is absolutely loving it. And it's kind of fun to go back and play the Dreamcast. I always felt like that was a system that kind of got a bum rap from Sega. They had a hit on their hands, and they squandered it, and then it just got crushed when PS2 came out, because one thing Sony can do is hype up their own product, and they had people believing that the PS2 could cure AIDS when it came out. I remember I was working at a game store at the time. I remember when this all happened. So it's a lot of fun going back and playing that. And we started playing some of the other games, Bust a Move and Ready to Rumble, Crazy Taxi, things like that. And I feel like it's a pretty fun system that I'm glad that I held on to, and can occasionally dust off, pull out the closet, and share those experiences with my kids. And I don't know that if I'm going to take him to see the Sonic movie because it looks bad. But hey, you know what? Obviously, I'm not the target audience. Sure, I grew up playing Sonic or whatever, but he's 7 and he is lit to go see this movie. He got him a Sonic the Hedgehog t-shirt. He loves him some Sonic, right? So they're doing something right, obviously. So I'll probably end up getting dragged to that with him. A friend of mine actually bailed me out on Pokemon, and he actually